clerk's audio is not working, I believe. That's for IT if they're listening.
Oh, okay.
Thank you. Sorry.
Oh, whatever. All right.
Alderman Moiseo, Janet just signaled go.
Oh, we can go. Okay.
Thank you, Janet. Do we have Alderman?
Let's see here. Yes, Mr. Kirkwood's here. Looks like it.
It appears we have everybody on our committee, sir.
All right, then we November 16th meeting. Oh, wait, hold on. Let me get the right thing here. I got the wrong agenda. Here we go. All right. November 16th, virtual special community development committee call to order, please.
Chairman Moiseo?
I'm here.
Alderman Seeger?
Present.
Alderman Turner?
Here.
Alderman Florian?
Here.
Alderman Kirkwood?
Present.
All right, good. Do we have anybody audience time about what's on this agenda?
There were no public comments submitted to our office.
Thank you, David. We have no old business. New business. Item A resolution reaffirming the city's commitment that any casino licensed for Fountain Square shall not receive any city incentives. Motion by Alderman Kirkwood, second by Alderman Florian. Any questions on that? No questions?
Alderman Florian has her hand up, sir.
Thank you. Go ahead. Remember,
Thank you. So when I was reading through this, one of the questions I have, the date is April of 2016 on this document. Is that because it's something we're reaffirming and we're just using the date it was originally affirmed?
No, that sounds like a typo. Douglas prepared that last week, and I caught two typos. I must have missed that one when I reviewed it.
What will the date be then, Bob?
The correct date would be, as of now, at this point, it doesn't matter what the date really is.
No.
Just be, they haven't received any incentives. Nobody's been promised absolutely anything. And this is simply clarifying that there will be absolutely no incentives of any kind given to a casino operator.
And I missed that in proofreading. I apologize.
But the date is irrelevant unless it was 2050.
Yeah, exactly. If it was in the future, that would be a problem. But anytime past or the present is fine because we haven't done it.
I wasn't an alderman in April of 2016, so I just felt like I probably shouldn't be affirming something that was dated April of 2016.
No, I understand, and I'm sorry. I apologize for the error. We just simply missed it. That's what happens with cut and paste sometimes when you take a template and you don't update and you don't catch all the updates.
Do we need to amend it, Bob, or does it make a difference?
It isn't going to make any difference, but you can amend it on its face to today's date.
I'd like to amend it just for form's sake.
Alderman, I'm sorry, Mr. Chairman, I have a copy of that same, and mine says April 16th date. 16th day of April 2018. City of Waukegan.
Okay, I'm sorry, I had it wrong. I was going on memory. I knew it was April, but I didn't remember the date.
Yeah,
Well, then
we'll get it corrected. We'll get it
make
corrected.
everybody happy. We will make that motion as amended to today's date, November the 16th, 2020. Is that okay?
Sounds good.
Make a
Okay.
motion.
All right, roll call, please.
Alderman Turner?
Aye.
Alderman Florian,
Aye.
Alderman Kirkwood,
Aye.
Alderman Seager,
Aye.
Chairman Moiseo.
Aye, thank you. Item B, adoption of comprehensive land use plan. Motion by Alderman Kirkwood, second by Alderman Turner. Any questions on that?
We do have a presentation on that, sir.
Okay, then we can go ahead and do that if they want.
Leslie Roth, the project manager from Ratio Architects, is with us this evening. She has a
Okay.
presentation to share. There she
All
is.
right.
Hi, Leslie.
Hi, Leslie.
Oh,
You're muted, Leslie.
Sorry.
That's okay.
Everyone, thank you so much for having me tonight. I am going to show you a brief presentation on the comprehensive plan, just so it's fresh in your mind, and give you a sense of what we accomplished during this process. Is everyone able to see my screen?
No.
Yes.
I don't see it.
Alderman Turner, could you check your view options? Do you have a little view options button at the top of your
Okay.
screen?
No.
Treasurer Schwab, I can see it fine.
Okay, I got it.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. So this process was guided by a community vision that was created with all of those who participated throughout the process, and really begins to embody the future of Waukegan with this statement. It was important to many people that we spoke to throughout the duration of this multi-year process that it embodied the aspirations and positive future impact that the comprehensive plan could happen as identified by the goals in the comprehensive plan document. A comprehensive plan is a living document. I mean, we could have never imagined that we'd be in the middle of a pandemic right now at the beginning of the comprehensive planning process. So I just wanted to bring it to your attention that this document is kind of a snapshot in the history of Waukegan, although the aspirations and future goals remain relevant, that it is important to understand that this document can flex to respond to the changing needs of Waukegan residents, as well as any other environmental conditions that happen, or social conditions or economic conditions that happen throughout the history of the city. The document that you'll hopefully adopt tonight does represent goals and aspirations of the community, but will need to be reviewed, and we recommend on an annual basis in coordination with the capital improvement budget to ensure that this plan can be implemented and that it continues to reflect the needs of the community. The planning process started in the fall of 2018. We're completing it now in the fall of 2020. It involved a whole variety of public engagement and outreach efforts, a number of different presentations to a variety of groups, focus conversations with Waukegan residents that represented a variety of groups. Overall, we had between 400 and 500 participants in this process, and incorporated a number of those comments into the goals. I'm going to go through briefly the contents of each chapter with you. This document was divided into 7 chapters, including implementation, and each one includes goals, strategy, action items, and tools that the city, its staff, elected and appointed officials, and residents can use to begin the implementation process after adoption. The first chapter reviews the existing key characteristics of the community and specific principles that were priorities of residents who participated in the public engagement opportunities. These key principles were then carried through into each one of the chapters of the document, and goals were created along with strategies and tools to capture those action items. The document itself focuses on place-based solutions, so not only looking at the city as a whole, but really taking a fine-tooth comb to understanding which areas of the city have been successful, will continue to be successful in the future, and those that maybe need a little bit more attention to bring them up to the level of expectation as other parts of the city. For these place-based solutions, we looked at 4 specific areas and analyzed them in a market analysis and provided recommendations, which is in the comprehensive plan. There were redevelopment opportunities and bold goals to support each one of these 4 key areas. These 2 examples that you see, these 2 maps that you see on this slide are just representative of the ways that we both graphically explained and in narrative form the specific existing conditions of each one of these areas and the opportunities that were presented and supported with strategies and action items in the comprehensive plan. This place-based approach also included land uses. Instead of going parcel by parcel, which for a city the size of Waukegan would not allow enough flexibility to promote the kind of redevelopment opportunity we'd like to see, we actually took this place-based approach and extended it to land use. So what you're seeing in this map on the right are really kind of character areas or general spaces within the city that have similar land use characteristics, or in the future, we would like to see those land uses present themselves. This also allows the city to prioritize development and focus it in areas that need it most. The comprehensive plan looked at multimodal transportation systems, including transit, bus, pedestrian, and bike. Waukegan does have a number of assets related to the transportation system. In this plan, we also addressed sidewalk continuity. In our assessment throughout the whole city, we observed that there was a gap in sidewalk continuity in certain parts of the city. And so that has been identified in the comprehensive plan as a goal for implementation to close some of those gaps and create additional connectivity to other city assets, including parks and open space. Green systems, as I just mentioned, is an asset in Waukegan, including the ravines, the lakefront, the marina, and the park system. The diagram that you're seeing on the right identifies a 5 to 10 minute walk circle around each one of the parks. If you squint your eyes, you can kind of see that most of the city is actually covered with, you can actually walk, you're pretty close to walking to many of the parks in the city. In the plan also it addresses other environmental, climate and energy related goals and strategies and looks at how development on the lakefront could continue to be a recreational amenity. The last chapter of the document, along with implementation, the implementation matrix, tools, and stakeholders who would be primarily responsible for implementation, also gives some guidance for ownership and accountability of this plan, and identify specific steps that could be taken to make sure that implementation of the comprehensive plan is effective. Thank you.
Thank you, Leslie. Mr. Chairman, you're muted, sir.
I'm sorry, there we go. Okay, so we had a motion and a second, so we had a presentation. All right, roll call, please.
Did you want to call for questions? It looks like Alderman Florian.
Oh, I'm
has a
sorry.
question.
I can't see everybody, so you gotta help me out with that. I don't know.
Absolutely.
I tried view options, it doesn't work. Go ahead, just go ahead and call whoever has their hand up. I'm sorry.
Alderman Florian.
Thank you. I had a couple of questions, and I don't know if this will be better directed to Noel or Leslie, but anyway, my first one is about in the presentation that was made back in, was that July, that was on YouTube. I viewed that whole thing. It says that they feel our land is over retailed. I'd just like a little bit more of an explanation about that. Where exactly and what can be done about that? I mean, it's not like we're going to kick people out.
Leslie, can you speak to that?
Sure. The idea in the comprehensive plan is to review the land that's been identified as retail commercial, and our market analysis consultants, SB Friedman, addressed that specific issue in the comprehensive plan and provided a number of different solutions for how to focus retail development and leverage the assets that you have. There were no recommendations to remove people from their existing businesses. There were no recommendations to, kick people out, as you said. It was just focusing the attention on retail and commercial development, because in their mind, as they've seen and observed through their analysis, that the retail climate is changing significantly, and continuing to add additional retail at the expense of other land uses was not a responsible decision to make for the plan. So there's a whole variety of possible opportunities in the plan. They chose to focus their analysis, while it was a citywide analysis, most of their recommendations focus on the corridors in Waukegan and how to more effectively utilize the retail that's already there.
Okay, thank you for that. And then my next question is, you referred to 12 PACE bus routes in the plan, and I think we just got a notice that PACE is going to decrease that number. Is that not true?
I'm not aware of that.
Do you know, Noel? Didn't we get some?
I have heard that. I don't know with certainty. I haven't received a notice, so I don't know exactly what is being changed, but I
Okay.
have heard somebody speak about that.
Yeah, because I think that would change some of the transportation issues that, were addressed. Okay, and then one of the things you suggested is that we have partnerships with other entities in the community that are trying to do good things in Waukegan, I'll just put it that way. And I'm curious from the city standpoint, who we have, who's going to get assigned this task, because I think this is one of the very important things about this plan, and also the grant writing. So I'm curious, because I know we have had a history before of doing these plans and then they get put on a shelf and nothing happens. And so I'm trying to make sure, since we invested so much time and money in this plan, that it actually gets put forward. So I'm curious, who's going to assign these jobs and when they'll be assigned and who's going to do them, basically, I guess is my question.
Mr. Chairman, may I speak, please?
Yes, go ahead, Honor.
Alderman, as you know, the plan is the plan. Now that we get it implemented, let's identify areas where we can take advantage of. As far as who's going to get assigned to them, well, let us put the plan in action, work with our planning and zoning teams to identify where we can go in this direction, and we'll give them. One of the first goals that I have as mayor was to get an updated comprehensive plan. As you can remember, I know you weren't on the council then, but let me help you out. This plan goes back to 1980. Let's get this plan on the shelf. Then we can sit down together in your ward and throughout all the wards and identify what you think might be better in that particular ward that would be in line with what the comprehensive plan is. That's why it's so critical that we have one on our desk. So I agree with you. Fortunate for you and I, we are in the now and not the then. So then we can identify what's in the best interest comprehensively on a broader scope, whether it be from the 1st to the 9th. So let's do step 1, and then we can go to step 2 and 3. But if you see some things that are in your ward that you think will go, that will go in line with what we have on a comprehensive level, bring those to Noel. Let's put some strategy in place, put something on paper and execute. That's where I think we need to go from this. But as it stands today, we now have an updated plan that we all can take hold of and move this community forward. And I trust that you agree, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
You're welcome. Any more questions?
Alderman Kirkwood?
My question is in terms of, have we looked at funding sources as we look at those particular areas that have been pointed out in the comprehensive plan? And now we know that with the COVID and everything else that's going on with our federal government, we need to make sure we can identify sources other than local. So can someone speak to that?
Sure. The ratio team has identified some funding sources within the plan, and my staff, as well as other departments, continually follow available funding sources. The mayor's team, Thomas and Marcus in particular, also always send us emails as they hear of funding opportunities for different programs. So there's regular communication going on among city staff, sharing information about opportunities that are available for different project types.
Okay, thank you.
Sure. And if you hear of anything, please let us know. We're always glad to track down information.
And if I can add to that, with me being on the Illinois Municipal League Board, we get a lot of different things there. I know DC, help me on it, Noel, is it DCEO?
DCEO, Department of
Yes.
Commerce and Economic Opportunity.
Yeah, they are doing some remarkable things there. We have our eyes set on working with Congressman Schneider's office, who's centrally located in our building here. Whenever the various grants that come out that we can identify with, that we think that would be a good fit for not only our plan but for our city, they then help us navigate through all those changes. I think that is the advantage of first having a plan in place so they can see. Our next goal, Noel and I spoke of this, is getting it out to our state leaders, our national leaders, and all of our other partners from the Illinois Municipal League on the state level, on the county level, and Lake County partners. I know Noel has an outstanding relationship with Kevin over there. This is how these things develop, but we must have an updated plan that does not go back to 1980. That's the real key here. And all of you are a part of that. And I do want to thank you for being a part of that and bringing those ideas in, but don't let them stop as of today. Thank you, Madam.
Did anybody else have questions? Mr. Chairman, I don't see any other hands raised.
Thank you, Noel. Okay, then roll call vote.
Alderman Turner,
Aye.
Alderman Florian,
Aye.
Alderman Kirkwood,
Aye.
Alderman Seeger,
Aye.
Chairman Moiseo.
Aye. That is it for our agenda. Reports and communications, none. Adjournment,
Alderman
motion by
Moiseo.
Alderman
Chairman
Seeger.
Moiseo.
Oh, yeah.
Could I just take a moment to thank Leslie
Yeah.
and her team for all the hard work on this plan? They've put in a lot
Yeah.
more time than originally anticipated, which we appreciate their
Yes.
commitment to follow through. And, Leslie's been consistently giving presentations as we've requested them, and all of their work, and especially Leslie's as the project lead, is very much appreciated.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Leslie. Thank you.
Thank you, Leslie.
Wow.
Okay, with nothing else.
No, there's an item
Sir,
C.
You have
There's-
one item.
Yeah,
Oh.
item C.
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry. Thank you. Oh, yeah. Motion by Alderman Seeger, second by Alderman Kirkwood. CDBG CARES Act funding allocations. Motion by Alderman Seeger, second by Alderman Kirkwood. Any questions on that?
Alderman
Alderman
Taylor is raising
Taylor.
her hand, and Larissa is on the line, I believe.
Go ahead, Alderman Taylor.
Yes, hi, Larissa. Alderman
Were
Taylor?
these people chosen just because they were the only ones who applied, or how did we figure this out?
No, there were more people who applied, and the SVP, we went through them and went through the applications and decided on who we were going to fund. So it was an application process. We actually went through two for the economic development portion of the CARES Act funding, and we had to do it again. And so when we did it again, we got two people, but only one agency qualified. So no, we went through application process. We went through the applications and chose who we wanted to fund.
And then did we determine the amount based on certain projects that they think they want to get done, or how is the amount determined?
It was based on what they asked for, and so yeah, it was based on what they asked for, and then the group decided on how they were going to fund them accordingly.
Alderman Bolton?
Yes, and I'm not part of this committee, but I wanted to know, where's this information posted and how? How does the process work?
About the application?
Yes.
It's posted on our social media on Facebook. I think Twitter. We posted online, and then if there are any people that we know personally, we have a list that we send out notices about funding, funding opportunities, and we actually have one coming up now. So it'll be on the internet, and it'll also be on,
WaukeganIL.gov.
I'm sorry.
WaukeganIL.gov.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And it'll be on the CDBG, and then it'll also be available. Jane, she actually puts it on the flash, so it's on the front of the website when you go on there. So
Thank
that
you.
will be available.
Alderman Newsome?
Yes, Larissa, for the organizations that have reached out to you previously, will you be letting them know where they can go to access these funds?
Yes.
Okay, all right, so they just need call you?
Yes, and we needed this to be approved first for you guys to have blessed it and approved it before we start making calls to people. We got a couple calls about the economic development one. I'm going to personally call them and let them know who to go to. And that the agency would be the Black Chamber, where small businesses could go to get assistance for their businesses where they had a loss due to COVID.
All right. Thank you.
Alderman Rivera, and then Alderman Kirkwood.
Thank you. Larissa, when you mentioned that the money is going to be going to the businesses that are vulnerable because of the COVID-19, will we be putting something out redirecting some of these businesses to, let's say, the Black Chamber of Commerce?
Oh, yes, absolutely. Like I said, we will contact the people who've been in contact with me. We'll have it available on our website. And of course, you all are mouthpieces for us to be able to let them know to please call me or call that agency directly to be able to get assistance.
Perfect.
We'll have
Thank you
it
so
listed
much.
on website too. So,
Alderman
Thank you.
Kirkwood?
Now, these are grants or are they loans?
they are grants.
Okay, and are there limits to the amount for the grants?
Yes, we listed that on there. It would be in the amounts of 200, 2,500, 5,000, 7,500, and then $10,000. And then that would be based on the need and the proof, the amount of the loss. So that's what it would be based on that. And then of course, funding availability until it runs out.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Any other questions?
This is Mayor here. I just want to be clear. Alderman Taylor, you said project. These dollars are not, and Larissa, please help us out. These dollars are not going to a specific project, but for CARES funding dollars are going to go specifically for those who meet those qualifications for CARES from the CARES Act. Just wanted to be very clear on that, ma'am.
Mm-hmm. Yes, it's going to the agencies for the CARES Act funding. Yes.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
So these dollars will not, is going to be different from our regular community development block grant dollars. So when you said the word project, I want to make sure that we're not doing no homes, we're not building, going to
doing sidewalks.
So these are specifically for what the CARES Act funding was meant for. Is that correct?
Yes, to those agencies, yes. Mm-hmm.
And yeah, just want to make sure you understood that, Alderman Taylor.
Okay, Mr. Chairman, that was it for questions and comments.
Okay, thank you. Sorry, I missed that. I'm having some computer screen problems, but I got them fixed now. So, okay. With nothing else, no reports or communications. Now
We
adjourned.
need to take the roll call vote, sir.
Oh, on that vote. Jesus, I'm a disaster tonight. Roll call.
Alderman Turner?
Aye.
Alderman Florian?
Aye.
Alderman Kirkwood?
Aye.
Alderman Seager?
Aye.
Chairman Moiseo.
Aye. Bears got me twisted up already and they haven't even started. Reports and communications, adjournment. Motion by Alderman Seager, second by Alderman Kirkwood. Roll call, please.
Alderman Turner.
Aye.
Alderman Florian.
Aye, sorry.
Alderman Kirkwood.
Aye.
Alderman Seager.
Aye.
Chairman Moiseo.
Aye. Council meeting in 12 minutes, people. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Noel.